Good evening, everyone. I hope you've had an amazing weekend. I just randomly went to the theatre. I went to visit some friends, a friend of mine that owns Slap Your Mama Spices, which I'm totally addicted to, these spices. So I went to visit my friends who are the distributors for Slap Your Mama Cajun Spices, and we ended up going to the theatre. And I went and saw this amazing, it was a musical play called First Date. Whoa. Oh my God, I could not stop laughing through the entire show. So for those of you joining, it was the first date that I just went and saw. And the reason why I wanted to do a Facebook Live about it is because this show was so good. It literally, it was perfect to what happens on a first date. Have you been on a first date recently? Do you remember what it's like? Are you an ex-Tinder person or someone that's out in the dating game and going, what happens on a first date? Or you haven't been, like you're newly single and you're wondering what happens on a first date. Oh my God. So this amazing show I just went and saw, First Date, which had me in stitches laughing. It starts off with they're in a like a cafe restaurant, and the first thing that comes up when you're going on a first date is, what do I wear? So this guy's come straight from work. He's really nervous. He's really uptight, and he's got his suit on and his tie and everything. And he's thinking, well, it makes me look more sophisticated, but of course it made him look a bit stiff and not so relaxed. So he takes off his tie. So the first question you ask when you're going on a date is, what do I wear? Now, as I'm talking about this, I'm going to give you a little tips and stuff. So firstly, one of the stupidest things that we do as women is when we've got a date, we're really hoping that that this one's going to work. We go out and we buy new clothes. Why? Because seriously, this person's never seen your wardrobe before. So why do you need to actually go and get new clothes? I mean, let's be logical. They've never seen anything before. So wear something that's comfortable. So when you're going out on a first date, what you wear is the first thing that comes into your mind. Then it was, how do I greet the person? All right. It's the first face-to-face contact. So do you go, hi, how are you? Do you give them a hug? Do you give them a peck on the cheek? Do you stand back? What do you do? Oh my God, so awkward. And you know what? It's funny because when I go out and I'm actually with people, I look around the room and I can actually see who's on a first date. Because firstly, the woman's always overdressed. But it's, yeah, how do you do the greeting? And quite frankly, I would just say, you know, hey, how you going? If you want, you can give them a quick handshake. And, you know, if you've had a little bit of more conversation between the two, if you give them a peck on the cheek, but you don't have to go full on the hello. So we're talking about this musical that I went to called The First Date and what happens on the date. So then was, what do we talk about? You know, and, you know, especially when you're nervous, you're going, oh my God, what do I talk about? And there's so many rules for dating. And they say, never talk about politics, never talk about, you know, your exes, dates you've been on, and religion. And of course, some of these did definitely come up in topic, or even go so far into the date where you're talking about, do you want kids? Do you not want kids? Things like that. So you're going, first, what do I wear? How do I greet somebody? And what do we talk about? Just relax. Why don't you talk about what's happening in the environment around you? But I probably would recommend that you keep off those sticky topics because it can get quite controversial and you may not end up with a second date. However, sometimes we do use things like, you know, religion and culture and things like that, and we've already boxed people into who you don't do and don't want. So what happens is that when you're out on your date, you will end up, especially, you know, we all go in there with what, we've got something in our mind, this box of, this is all the checklist of, this is the kind of person that I want to date. Right? Or this is the kind of person that I want. And so what we're doing is we're stereotyping what we're looking for. Okay. Is that a wise idea? Because you know what? Most of the time, the person that you fall in love with is not the person that you put in your little box. So that's another thing that happens. Then Oh my God. Then the voices, the little people that sit on your shoulder the whole date. You've got the good one and the bad one. And they start talking to you during the date. So in this case, on this particular show that I went and saw on First Date, it turns out that they end up knowing people from the same town, but it comes up that he's Jewish, and she's like, oh, okay, and he's like, you're not? And straight away, this stereotype box came into it. It was like, and then he's thinking, oh my God, she's not Jewish. If she's not Jewish, then what's my family going to think? What's my friend? I'm supposed to be with a Jewish girl. And it is just an example, okay? So that whole, the little evil people sitting on your, on your shoulder that's making judgments, and the other person's talking, and you've got someone talking in your ear at the same time and telling you all this thing, and you're judging and you're reading between the lines, and you calm the farm. Just relax on the date, because you know what? If you really get that conversation to flow and you shut up the little people on your shoulder, you might actually have a good time, and you might actually get to the second date, or it could not be as bad as you're thinking. So you're always thinking about, is this person going to fit in with my family, my friends? And, do they want kids? Do they not want kids? Oh my God. Then you've got the ultimate, what they say is never talk about topic, which is your exes. Okay. I'm going to say just quickly, I've broken every freaking dating rule out there. I've thrown them so far out in the wind. I've gone, screw the rules. And I've talked about exes. I've talked about everybody while we're there. So it's not that bad. It's just the way that you talk about your exes. So if you are, in this case, the ex came up because he had a box of what kind of woman do you like, and in his mind was still his ex, and she was looked like this and had hair like this and her eyes, you could just fall in love with him. But then also his perspective of the person that jilted him at the altar was completely wrong. So when you're doing the whole dating thing, should you talk about your exes or not? Well, that depends. That depends on whether you're over them or not. Okay. And we can tell very quickly whether you're over your ex and whether you are still emotionally unavailable. So on this particular First Date theatre show, we started off with, what do you wear on the date? How do I greet them? What do we talk about? The stereotypes, the little voices in your head telling you things and talking in between their talking. Are they going to fit in with your family and friends? Do they want kids? What conversations not to talk about? Your exes, and then, where are you at? It is so fast to actually work out where the other person's at, specifically when you do the conversation about your exes. So in this case, this poor guy was still pretty heartbroken and he never got closure. So she did an exercise with him, which was brilliant. Okay, she did this exercise with him, which was brilliant, to help him get closure, where he got jilted at the altar, basically, and he never quite got over it, never got closure. So she said to him, hey, I want you to literally talk to me like you're talking to your ex. And this guy lost his shit. At first he was all nice and, I really like some of the memories that we had and rah, but you were a ball breaker. And it was really quite funny, because finally he lets it all out and he moves on. With the girl on this particular First Date theatre show that I went to, she liked the bad boys. I need to talk about the bad boys. Why are we attracted to the bad boys? Let me explain what the bad boy is. The bad boy is the guy that walks in the restaurant and said, I want that table. That's my table. He gets that table. He's the one that makes you go out of your comfort zone, that gives you that little bit of a thrill and an excitement. He might have tattoos, or he, just does wild things, and he's that alpha male. But ladies, as much as we're all attracted to the bad boys because they give us this energy and excitement that maybe we're missing in our life, let me tell you about the bad boys. Bum, bum. You can't keep the bad boys. They are going to chew you up and spit you out. And they talk about the bad boys in this theatre show. So for those of you joining, literally I just went and saw this theatre show called First Date. Now, this I laughed through the whole thing, because it was, what do you do on a first date? We talked about what do you wear? How do you greet them? What do you talk about? What don't you talk about? The little evil people sitting on your shoulders that is actually talking in your ear. Is this person going to fit in with my family and friends? Do they want kids? Talking about the exes, where you're at emotionally. So how hurt you are and whether you're going to let down your walls. And then the bad boys. So girls, you can't keep the bad boy. You can touch them. You can lick them. You can screw them. You can play with them. You can't keep them. Did you get that? You can't keep the bad boy. They're there for excitement and fun, but these boys cannot be had, okay? Very rare a bad boy ever settles down. He very rarely is going to see you for a long time. He's the guy that will return your calls when he feels like it. He's the one that's going to do the booty call when he feels like it. And yes, he might make you feel invigorated, but you can't keep the bad boy. So in this particular one, this guy was actually a really nice, sweet guy, and she was used to the bad boy. So what did she do? Bum, bum, bum. Friend zoned him. That word, the killer word, being friend zoned. And boy, let me explain. This is how fast that women friend zone you. That quick. It is so fast that we friend zone you. I've done it. I've literally friend zoned someone. However, for me, you get friend zoned if you got kids. So if you've got children, pretty much straight away, you're in my friend zone, because I don't do drama with exes. And that's just part of what I call my non-negotiables, okay? So you don't have a checklist, I have a non-negotiable, and that's one of it. So I've been out with someone, and we've ended up being friends for way over a year, but the second I found out that he had children, and he had an ex-wife who's the drama queen from hell, literally he got friend zoned. And our brains, guys, you need to understand, when you get put in the friend zone box, yeah, pretty much ain't coming out of it. It's pretty rare. But if you feel that you're getting put into the friend zone, you need to get that, and you need to make sure she's backing out of that ASAP. You don't want to be completely plonked in that friend zone, because once you're in the chair and you're sitting and warming up the bottom of the seat of the friend zone, you ain't coming out. We can hang out with you and sleep in the same bed with you and do all these amazing things with you and never, ever want to sleep with you or marry you. So you want to make sure that if the conversation and you can see you're getting friend zone, that you try to get out of that chair ASAP and let her realize that there's another side to you. Now, the reason why if a girl likes a bad boy and you're a really sweet guy, that we're going to friend zone you is because we think we're going to squish you like a little bug and hurt you, okay? We want to see the other side of you. For women, you'd be surprised if you actually show that you're just a really nice guy. We do not want to have people pleasers in our life. We want a guy that's going to stand up and fight for us, and that's what a bad boy does. He stands up. So we're not saying that we want you to be what I call an unresourceful alpha male, because they're the real bad boys, but we want to know that when there's, it's not always going to be, what do you want? What can I order for you? Where would you like to go? Oh, kill me now. So goddamn boring. We want you to literally make decisions, take control. If we're out for dinner, I've let somebody just completely, you order. This is your kind of food. Why don't you order for me? That is giving them that masculine energy. And trust me, when you see that in a guy, you take him out of the friend zone. So you want to make sure that you get out of the friend zone. But at the end of the date, oh my God, what do you do? So it's the say goodbye. What do? It's awkward. Do you hug them? Do you kiss them? Do you go in for that kiss? Do you give it a bash? All right, guys that are listening, this is the secret. Girls judge you on your kissing. So make sure you get your kissing technique correct, and make sure that you do not walk away from that date without at least giving it a go, because what have you got to lose? Nothing. You've got nothing to lose. So what? So even if she's not interested in you, give it a go. What's the worst she could do? Pour a drink over you, slap you? Who gives a shit? Seriously. But I am freaking telling you guys, the kiss, if you get the kiss right, shit changes very quickly. I met someone when I met him, and I did I've played this scenario. So literally, I met him, I looked at him and I went, he doesn't float my boat. He's not my type. We talked, we could see who else was dating, and this guy got balls, not at the end of the night. He got balls not far in, and he leaned over and he actually kissed me. Shocked the shit out of me. He saw the shock on my face, number one. The shock was because he did it. The second shock wave was because it was so freaking good. So he made sure that within minutes he went in and did it again. And this time when he kissed me, every light bulb from the tip of my hair to the tips of my toe went, woo, baby, all right? This guy that I would have friend zoned and I actually would never have seen again, because he had balls, he found them, he grabbed them, and he went, I've got nothing to lose here. We get along really well, friend zone, but is it possible that we could go anywhere else? Let me tell you, I saw him for the next 18 months, okay? Best sex ever. And we are such good friends, literally, such good friends. And it's because he went in for the how do I say goodbye halfway through the night. But if you've got all the way through your date and you haven't had a chance to go in and give it a shot, if you guys just do it and give it your all, get this kissing technique right. I am telling you, you've got to get these lips. This is the gateway to these lips. Secrets. Now, this is why this particular show, I laugh so hard, because that's why I wrote this. Because I talk about so many secrets in this book about how to win the day. I saw so many characters in this book. The bad boy, the Mr. Emotionally Unavailable, you've got the serial dater, you name it, or the serial monogamous, they're all in here. And I wrote this because what do you do when you're dating? How do you deal with this dating scene in the modern world? What do I wear? How do I start the conversation? How do I greet them? What do we talk about? The voices in your head, your freaking checklists, talking about this, that, and the other thing. Understanding who's sitting in front of you, because you're straight away going, all right, what's this guy? And why is he single? There's got to be something wrong with him. Or why is this girl single? There's got to be something wrong with her. No, maybe they just weren't ready. Maybe they weren't ready to actually go out dating yet. Or is this going to be hookup? Is this just a hookup person? Is this a friend zone person? Or is this going to be someone that I potentially might have a long-term relationship with? Here's the deal. Dating is a stepping stone. Dating is an experience. Dating is about having fun. Dating is not about going and sitting in front of the next person and going, is this the one? Is this the one? Is this one the one? Is that one the one? Screw that. Go. That I say the person that is Mr. or Miss Right for you right now is more than likely the person standing next to you that you would never have imagined because your friends know them. Okay, so I just had to tell you about this show because I just thought it was so good. Guys, dating is a minefield and it is an experience and it is a stepping stone. But one thing I'm going to say for you married people out there, okay, keep dating. And when I'm saying keep dating, I'm talking about keep dating your husband or wife. Do not forget how to do that, because that's how you end up in the divorce courts, which is very expensive and I've got experience with. So make sure whether you're fresh and you're single or you're married, you keep dating. Make it exciting, have fun, take risks, go out there, learn how to passionately kiss. Oh, yum. And give it a go. You got nothing to lose. So until next time, bye guys.